Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Walt Bratt, and I want to thank you for coming out on this beautiful summer morning. Let me tell you about Dr. Edwards. He was born in Jamaica, raised in the Bahamas, attended and graduated from Queens College in Nassau. He was then awarded a full academic scholarship at Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia, where he earned 2 degrees, one in psychology, one in biology, with a minor in music, the piano. He was also very active in sports for his country and his college. After that, he was awarded a full academic scholarship to the University of the West Indies Medical School, which is a branch of the University of London Medical School. Now, in the British system, you go 5 years to earn your doctorates, and you earn an MBBS, and Dr. Edwards earned a doctorate in general medicine and a doctorate in general surgery. About 3 years ago, Dr. Edwards moved to California to live with his family up in the Bay Area. He has been working as a pro bono educator for the Healthy Oakland Clinic in Oakland, California, where he oversees programs in several categories such as diabetes, high blood pressure, fibromyalgia, heart disease, stroke, Parkinson's, and so on. There he tracks the progress of patients who are using minerals and mangosteen in their daily regimen. Now, while Dr. Edwards is licensed in several countries under the British system, he's also currently working towards his doctorate in the state of California. Dr. Edwards is recognized worldwide as an expert on the power of mangosteen and minerals. Folks, put your hands together and welcome Dr. John Edwards.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Dr. Edwards, John Edwards, but I'm not running for president, at least not yet. They say that the fear of public speaking is right up there with just about any major fear that you can have. One way to get around that, and I've been told that this is one way you can practice to become a better speaker, is to attempt to put marbles into your mouth as you continue to speak, and then, one by one, try to remove them. When you've lost all your marbles, then you'll make a good public speaker. A lot of people don't like speaking. I happen to like it. I come from a family, as you heard, my father's a pastor. So as you can well imagine, as a pastor's son, I spent a lot of time in front of the church, reading lessons, getting involved in Sunday school. It got me up in front of people early, and I thank God for that now, looking back, in retrospect. I'm a physician. I trained in the British system, University of London, University of the West Indies. And I also come with a background with some of my training from the United States. Morehouse College, the alma mater of Martin Luther King, laid a very solid foundation there for me that I, in retrospect and looking back, realized how much it was going to be indispensable when I reached the medical school in the British system. Very thrilled to be here, always excited to share on this wonderful product and to talk about mangosteen and minerals, because we're here today because of something wonderful that has floated into our backyards that I think more of us need to be aware of and take advantage of in this, the wellness industry and wellness boom that has taken the U.S. by storm. Very proud to be associated with this company, with the leadership that you have, and all the others that are involved in making this wonderful opportunity, which it is. We would like for you to seize that opportunity today and to hopefully lift your belief levels a little more from the medical standpoint as we get to see this product at work on a day-to-day basis at a clinic where I work in Healthy Oakland. We've been very fortunate to follow quite a few patients. We've been giving out large numbers of product to quite a few patients there and following them serially over a period of time. We're going to be reporting to you more on that as we follow these individuals. And we're going to share some of that today with you, what we've seen it do, what it's capable of doing. And we also want to give you a little bit more background on the history of the plant and also on the minerals which have been married in this wonderful combination and that has allowed us to see the type of health benefits that we're seeing from the patients and from the families that are witnessing turnarounds as well. So I really want to start with that. This is a wonderful plant. The Latin name for this plant is Garcinia mangostana. This fruit, the mangosteen, comes from the Southeast Asian basin. It is a very potent plant, has over 43 xanthones, X-A-N-T-H-O-N-E-S, xanthones. These molecules are powerhouse antioxidants. That's what they are. So they mop up free radicals in the body. Once you get them into the system, and thank God they had the wisdom to put it into a liquid form, so the assimilation is very high, the bioavailability is easy. You can get it into the system, it can cross the lipid membranes and be absorbed very rapidly because of the delivery system that this company has chosen. Very, very important. Liquid, as you can imagine, when you put something in liquid form, is the fastest and the most rapid absorption form possible. And so you're taking advantage of that. Had it been a capsule, powder, or a tablet, lots of problems would occur where this is concerned. Your body is a sponge. It literally can absorb material. When it's in liquid form, you can just picture that sponge soaking up water. Same type of concept. Once it gets in, it can literally be absorbed into just about every major organ system that exists within the human body. The human body is a powerful thing, an amazing, quite exquisite design. What you put into it determines what comes out of it. And so it's very important when you look at health and wellness that you understand the premise and the basis for health, which is the body is amazing. It can do wonderful things once you put the correct and raw organic material into it. And we found that with this mangosteen, and when you add minerals to that, this is a wonderful marriage for the two that allows the body to perform at a maximum optimum level. And that's what wellness is all about. Wellness is about prevention. Wellness is about taking health upstream before we get into problems and symptoms and major illness downstream. So we want to shift America to a new level. We want to take American consciousness and the population at large to a new conscious level. We need a paradigm shift in America away from sickness and symptoms and over to prevention and wellness. And that era is here. We're a part of that. We know that you're here because you understand that and you put a premium on that. And we want you to be comfortable and knowledgeable in knowing that what you're bringing to the market is valuable and that it's going to touch lives, touch people, and change them in areas where there's non-negotiable issues. And health is one of them. Health is a non-negotiable area. People want results. People don't want to be sick. They want to prevent illness. And they definitely don't want to spend their life's earnings on medical bills down the road when it comes time for them to retire. And that should be your mindset when you look at this. It's a powerful business opportunity on top of that simply because of what it is able to do in the body. But the mangosteen comes to us with a 400-year history. It began 1673. Laurentius Garcin was the first physician to chronicle its use. We see that from that time period until now, many nations have studied it extensively. The Indian systems use it as a part of Ayurvedic medicine. For 2,000 plus years, it was known to them, used by the Buddhist priests in that group. And it's a strong part of Ayurvedic medicine to this day, well recognized in the world now for their contributions to wholeness and holistic health. And the mangosteen is well studied there. Madras in India in particular, in the Ayurvedic branch, is very lucrative in the studies where this particular fruit is concerned. If you look on PubMed, the national libraries in this country, www.pubmed.com, you will see that a large number of the studies on this plant come from Madras in India, having been well versed with this plant and knowing it for several hundred years. On top of that, we see that the Malaysian basin, Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, the rainforest belt, Brazil, the French islands of the Caribbean, Guadeloupe and Martinique, it's well known there as a tonic, de Creole. They've used it for a long time for energy type challenges, even before these companies that we now see it in this form existed. So we have a long history, 400 years plus, and a lot of folklore behind this wonderful plant. We want to welcome you to the Queen of Fruits and the King of Opportunity. That's what we have. Queen of Fruits, King of Opportunity. We're really excited about that because you have a very powerful fruit. Queen Victoria offered knighthood to anybody who could bring this fruit to her on a continuous basis. That's how impressed she was with the fruit. Malaysia and Thailand have made it their national fruit. The most prized fruit there is very expensive. It's the most expensive on the market. It only harvests twice a year. Very unique. Grows on some trees 75 feet tall into the air. Again, only found twice a year. So it's very special and unique. And that's what we want to present. And that's why you're very fortunate to be associated with a company that can now make this a household entity. This plant, after many attempts to horticulture it to make sure we didn't run out with the world demand facing us currently, we've seen various increases in the supplies worldwide. And what we're also seeing here now in the United States is an increased demand for mangosteen as more and more people get results and are seeing changes at the lab level. And I want to point that out. We're seeing changes at the clinic at the laboratory levels. Meaning, not placebo, not I think I feel better, but labs. When we draw your blood and we look at the pictures, we're seeing improvements in the blood work and we're seeing improvements in the lipid and markers, what we call markers, biomedical markers in medicine. Folks, that's why I'm here. I was excited about that. Many things are touted, but they very seldom live up to the billing. When you check them out, when you do the blood work, when you look for changes, you can't see anything from a laboratory standpoint. That is not the case for mangosteen. And when you add minerals to that, it's very powerful because now you have the combination of the minerals that many of us are depleted in, especially extremes of the population, the youth and the elderly. This group in particular suffer from mineral depletion. The elderly, because of years of use and being worn down, etc., tend to suffer at that point and need these supplements more so than other groups. Infants, because they're not fully developed and they don't have the fully developed immune system, also are bombarded with large amounts of challenges, and it's very important that we get our kids and our youth on these types of supplements immediately. This is very important. Those two groups in particular will do very well with this product. The other thing we want to point out is that we see something phenomenal from a health arena where you can do what you're doing pretty much right now with your doctor. I want to make this very clear. I want to put a disclaimer right out front. This is not an attempt to diagnose and treat or cure any disease. What we're saying with this is you're simply going to take this and you're going to add it on to whatever you're doing right now with your doctor. You're not going to stop what you're doing. This is an adjunct. This is something that you can tailor on to the back of what you're doing, piggyback onto what you're doing with your doctor. Go back and use your doctor as a barometer. You're going to let him follow your labs, see what improvements are occurring for you over a period of time serially as you continue to monitor your lab parameters. That's how we use it in the clinic, and it's very, very impressive. As a matter of fact, I would go as far as to say that in some cases, it is putting the prescriptions to shame. And that's a bold statement to make. But in some areas of medicine where you know we have challenges, we're seeing turnarounds in some of these patients at Healthy Oakland Clinic that pale in comparison in some categories. And I'm going to talk about that. That's what's exciting. That's what you have your hands on. That's what we want you to share and spread with this message. Whoever's got you this CD or DVD or whoever's got this and put this into your hands, they care for you, they love you, they want you to hear the message, and they want you to become a part of something bigger than yourself. And that's what the health message is all about. We see from 1673 to current date that mangosteen has an ability, because of these xanthones, to come into the human body and to touch just about every major organ system. 3 molecules in particular out of the 43 are very powerful and have been studied extensively. Alpha mangosteen, gamma mangosteen, and garcinone E. I'm going to repeat that. Alpha mangosteen, gamma mangosteen, and garcinone E. These 3 xanthones out of the 43 have received the bulk of the research in Madras in India, as I mentioned earlier, and also in just about all of the Southeast Asian basin, where large numbers of research has been done on this fruit. Extensive research. Very impressive research. Independent research. Has nothing to do with our company. Independent, coming from multiple sources and multiple countries, Korea, China, India, Japan, well-recognized scientific communities, Germany in particular. Very well known, the Germans are well known for their ability to pay attention to details and precision. The automobile industry, they're just about everything they do. They've done a lot of work on this particular plant as well. So we're really looking at something solid. You're not a guinea pig with this. And when I looked at the research and I spent 3 months reading it all up, 14,000 papers on the mangosteen. 14,000. You can read forever on this thing. It was an education for me. And I want to turn on a lot of doctors and health practitioners and people in the health field to this, because a lot of things have been touted out there and very few of them have this type of research from independent labs all around the world to back it up. And it's on the national libraries, it's on PubMed, you can look it up, refer them, it's on Medline, doctors know what that is. You can go in there and look at this stuff for yourself. Perth in Australia did a lot of studies on this in the hospital setting. Very impressive. We even have our own centers now that we've seen the mangosteen for 3 years here in the United States. Tufts University in Boston done extensive research on this plant, continuing to do a lot of work. The Johns Hopkins newsletter recently in the last 3 months put out a new bulletin on this particular plant. They're impressed with it. If Hopkins is impressed with it, I don't know why we aren't. Honestly, when you look at the challenges that we face here in the United States, we continue to see top centers endorsing it and trying to get individuals to take a serious look at it because they've seen cases. Patients are walking into these top centers and noticing changes, and they're seeing it in the labs, and these centers are getting behind this wellness boom, this mangosteen craze. So you're a part of that. We really want to point that out. So what we see is that garcinone E, which has been shown to be very effective in the cancer arena, we're not going to dwell on that too much, but this is an area we're facing challenges currently. It would behoove us to pay attention to anything at all, that can help us in an arena where we're losing thousands of lives every year.